Dr James Kingsland, National Clinical Commissioning Network Lead for the Department of Health. Thanks for joining us at GP headquarters. Can you tell me something about your role and what your clinical network can offer?
The role is overseeing a programme to help GP commissioning be implemented. It started a couple of years ago with an attempt to reinvigorate practice-based commissioning. And the idea was to get new momentum behind that programme by having clinical champions around the country articulating the message, putting the message into context, into everyday practice, and seeing if we could stimulate the policy at that time. As PBC declined, government changed, GP commissioning was produced, there was still a need to make sure that we didn't make the mistakes of PBC in terms of how it evolved. And this network that I oversee, it's an unbranded programme. It's meant to be a system-wide. It is funded by the Department of Health, so closely aligned with the Department of Health, and needs to be, because it is about getting policy out to the front line, but having advocates of the policy, people who are knowledgeable, themselves have their own network or leadership positions in their locality.
So these aren't DH people.
No, these are clinicians. In the first cohort, general practitioners, because it is GP commissioning, so we wanted to focus on those people who do make a lot of the decisions about how NHS resources are used through their referral prescribing activity. But it's grown, so we've got other primary care contractors, there's optometrists, pharmacists, and now some dentists who are getting involved in understanding the policy and how it translates into their particular specialties, as well as AHPs, nurses. So we make sure there's a broad spectrum of clinical engagement and advocates for this.
What sort of practical advice can these people and the network as a whole offer to consortia and to practices?
Well, first off, it's an expert source of information that is directly widened to the Department of Health, so they're giving accurate information about policy and its development at a very early stage. They can be using materials that are produced by the network aligned with the communication department of the Department of Health, so we know there's a consistency of message, and again, it's accurate. So they can be at speaker meetings locally. They can also feed information into the department about new developments, what is happening on the ground, so we have an intelligence source as well, so that if there are problems, they can be quickly identified and hopefully solved.
Consortia or, practices, GPs looking to set up consortia can come to you and ask for that advice, ask for someone to come out and do a talk, that kind of thing.
We can field the local expert, the local champion, and these are people who have already been identified mainly by their peers as leaders in their locality.